Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Tea time. Hope everybody's having a good week. Another week has gone by quickly. Give you guys a few seconds. Come on, I'm going to jump right in though because I don't want this to be too long of a video. I wanted to do a different topic, but ever since I posted my hello, thumbs up, good. That's good. Can you hear me? We're all good. So I posted this post about my journey and how basically I have gotten to a point where health is my main focus and has been for a long time now, from a place where I was years back where I was in a completely different spot. I was emotionally eating, I had anxiety, I was feeling very stuck in life, I was feeling sort of empty and lost, just really lost and not knowing what the next step was. I had gotten to where I wanted to be and just at that point had sort of just went whoop with my health and let myself go. And we all have said that at some point, but I really, really did. I was always very thin. I was always very athletic, well into my teenage years and into my 20s. And I ate like crap. I ate like crap, but because I was so active and always moving and we're young and this and that, blah, blah, that's what everyone says. But really, it's just you do more when you're young. Like you can still do that when you're older. But anyway, that's another thing about age. But I just was feeling like, wow, I'm at a point where I'm really not happy. I'm not happy with how I'm feeling. I'm tired all the time. I don't have energy. I had eczema. There were just so many signs that my body was struggling and my mind was struggling. And now that I'm aware of all of this stuff, and try to bring as much as I can to you guys about it, I wanted to share with you, how I got there. So, how I got to the point where it was so bad that I couldn't even go up the stairs to the train. Like I was out of breath and I'm thinking, wow, I'm 26 and this is like not very good. And, it caught up with me. I was always very thin and very athletic. And then towards my mid-20s, because I stopped really being active and I stopped caring enough about myself, I let myself go. And everything that I was eating when I was younger, like it almost like came back and just hit me at 20, 26, 27. I never cooked. My mom never really cooked. Dinner was, here's $5, here's $10, go to KFC, go to Taco Bell, go to McDonald's. Like I grew up on fast food. It's really sad now to think of that and all the things I put in my body, but I'm so glad that I finally woke up and realized that a lot of the things that I was thinking and feeling and seeing my body reacting to was from that. And, that is something that is so, I really try to share with you guys as much as possible how important it is to take care of what your health is, because everything outside of you really doesn't matter. Like your health is truly your wealth. And this country is suffering. Like we're addicted to food and we're addicted to the sugar and to the carbs and to all these preservatives and things that are keeping us weighed down. And this is not like, get rid of all the chemicals and get rid of all the food and you can't eat this. Like, no, I want to share with you how changing how I was eating and changing what I was doing and changing what I was putting into my body and what I was thinking and what I was feeling elevated my vibration. It made me feel higher. It made me feel more connected. Like those of you on the spiritual journey that I know a lot of you are. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Michelle. If you're trying to get to that point where you're getting closer to source or God, or you're feeling like something is really pulling you to get better, taking care of your health and taking care of what you put in your body and the things that you do is going to be number one, because that's what really shifted for me. When I looked in the mirror and was the final straw and was like, whoa, what has happened to me? How did I get here? And I stopped and I really started to evaluate, all the choices that I was making and all of the choices I wasn't making, right? Not to be active, not to be looking for something else to do. not to, get help, whatever it was. I saw the path that had led me there, that I was so unhappy and I was so stuck that food was the only thing that was making me feel better. It was like such an easy, like quick thing, but I looked forward to food, and food is a drug. At the end of the day, it is no different than if I would have been grabbing a cigarette, or grabbing a bottle of wine and hacking it up every night, or, whatever addiction or drugs or whatever it is, it's the same thing. It became that for me. It became something that made me feel better. So that emotional eating it was creating this cycle where I literally was turning to food at any point I could to feel better. And so when I finally looked in the mirror, I was like, wow, I see that. I see what this has done to me, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way that I feel. I don't like not having energy. Everybody always thinks of energy like, oh, I don't have any energy, like you're just tired, you're fatigued all the day. And yes, that's what that is. But it really is a sign of where you are, for my law of attraction peeps, where you are in your vibration, right? If you're fatigued and you're tired and you're depressed and you're sad and you're bored, those good things that are out there for us can't come. And that leads me to what really started to shift for me. I knew, just like I share with everyone, that, when I wrote that post, not everybody comments. You guys read it, and a lot of you message me. And what happens is I see that there's so many people struggling with the same thing. And I just want to let you know, like, you're not alone. You're not the only one that's feeling anxiety. You're not the only one that's feeling like you don't love yourself enough. You're not the only one that's feeling like you are emotionally addicted to food. You're not the only one that's feeling like you could be more, but you're just stuck where you are in the same cycle. Like, I don't want to say everyone, but everyone who I'm in contact with, that's what they're struggling with. So, this video is for you, and I'm sharing my story with you because there's something about what happened to me that's happening to you, and I want to let you know it's okay. It's a process. It's actually great because you're starting to be aware. You're starting to figure out that, like, I can't keep going on like this. And if you're at that point, that's what this is going to be for you. This is what I want this to be for you, is to understand that your journey is already starting the second you realize, I need to change. I need to change. When you can say that to yourself, when you can take sole responsibility for where you are in your life right now, with your health, with your finances, with your relationships, with everything in your life, when you can say, what do I have to change about myself? Not my spouse, not my ex, not my, my finances, not my job, not my career. Those things, forget about those things. We can't blame those things anymore, right? We can't say, I'm like this because this happened, or I'm like that, because we can't keep doing that, because then it gives us excuses and it gives us reasons to stay where we are because it's everyone else's fault. There has to come a point where we take responsibility for ourselves and say, I need to change. And I want to share with you what some of those changes were for me when that light bulb went off. It was like, this shit has nothing to do with anybody else. This is like Crystal's garbage and Crystal's shit, and I need to deal with it. And that's what I did. I started to look at where I wanted my life to go. I started to have a vision. I started to have an ideal. Okay, this isn't working for me anymore. I'm settling. I'm not moving forward. I'm feeling the worst I've ever felt. Like, I need progress. I need to move faster. Hey, Sean. So not even move faster, but I need to move out of where I am, and so I started really thinking, what do I want? Right? And everyone's like, oh, I could answer that with a million questions, millionaire. Everyone's going to say, I want $1 million. Everyone's going to say, I want this, I want that. I want my lover to come. I want this to come. I want that to come. But really, what do you want? What is the feeling essence of what it is that you really want? Not the thing that it is, but the feeling that that thing will give you. Okay? Because once you start to look at your future and you start to desire your future with emotion and who you want to become, you're going to start to be pulled to behaviors and actions and situations that bring that life to you. So instead of thinking about where you are right now and how stuck you feel and all the negative things that you're telling yourself, once you start to see yourself as your best self, now you can start to have better thoughts. You can start to think, you can start to and feel, and you can start to act the way you would really want to be in your best self and your best life. So that responsibility has to happen first. If you're not taking responsibility that you have to change and that you have to change from within and inside, it's going to be very hard for that transformation to happen because we have to take responsibility. Sean says, I know better than to blame other people, but I find myself doing it sometimes. Taking responsibility for my own reality is the starting place. We all do it. It's embedded in us to blame, because what would happen if we actually looked within, and was like, oh my God, like this has been my doing. This has been happening because of the way I'm feeling. It's initially very like, boom, like, wow, I did this to myself. It's self-actualization. It's really accepting, like, wow, it's nobody else's fault for the first time, and once you do that, it does get easier. It does get easier to not let the outside affect you as much. And at the end, I'm going to share with you guys a book, which I've been posting about. So if you're not, but you can hold on for that. But it's something that responsibility is first. Number one. Then it's okay. If I'm not happy with this and I don't like who I am right now, who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? How do I want to show up in the world? How do I want to show up to other people? How do I want to show up to myself, to my God, to my source, to the connection of why I'm here, right? I'm here to do something. I'm here to move consciousness forward. Everyone that's here, that's listening to this, especially if you're this far, like, you get that you were here for something. You get that you are here to make movements in the world. And to get to that place, you gotta get healthy. You gotta get healthy. You've got to start putting better foods in your body. And I'm not gonna sit here and give you a diet and be like, I eat this on this day and eat that on that day. Like, no. Eat what feels good to you. Eat when you eat it, if you feel good, then keep eating it. If you feel like crap and you're tired and you're exhausted after you eat it, stop eating it. Like, that's how I started. I started first with my portions. I was always eating badly, but I started cutting out the portions of the bad stuff I was eating. So if I ordered Chinese and I would usually eat the whole thing and then some, I started leaving half. If I went out to dinner, which I was doing a lot, I would cut my plate in half before I even digged in, because this is what I'm eating. I'll stop when I'm satisfied, and that's it. I won't keep eating because, oh, I need to eat, or I'm hungry. It's that mindfulness that needs to come. Hi, Sylvia. So I started with the portions, and again, still eating badly, but cutting my portions. Then that started turning into, okay, what can I add in and take a little bit of out, right? Because my food was very limited. If anybody knows me, grew up with me, I literally ate like waffles, frozen pizza, fast food, and that's like, and drinks, lots of soda, lots of 4C, iced tea. Oh my God, I look at the things now, I'm like, oh my God, how am I even alive? Like, seriously. But I was alive, I was living, but I wasn't alive, right? I wasn't alive. I wasn't feeling that. So when I started cutting that out and putting more greens, and I started to feel better about myself. I went back to school because I was like, you know what? I need to get off the couch. I need to be more active. So I started taking more walks. I started walking to the park, which is like a mile each way every day. Like every day I would eat, or every other day, instead of eating and then laying on the couch, I would go for a walk, because I kept asking myself, if I was this person, if I was healthy, if I felt good, if I felt energized, like what would I be thinking? What would I be doing? And after dinner, I would be thinking, great, I'm going to finish this dinner and then I'm going to go for a walk. If I'm the old person, the old Crystal is like, I can't wait to finish this dinner and put on Kardashians, right? It's choices. It's thoughts that lead to choices. So that started to happen for me, where I started adding in more of these greens, and I started adding more of that, and then made major shifts in my life. Major shifts. I changed like everything. I left a relationship I was in for a really long time, and everything started to shift for me. I was sitting in my friend's kitchen, Ellie Pappas. She knows I've told the story 100 times, but she gets all the credit. And she said these lovely words to me. Have you ever heard law of attraction? And that was it. I was hooked. I was on it. And I started to understand more than hooked on it. I started to understand that if I started thinking better, if I started acting better, if I started feeling better, that this would change my outside world and that I couldn't let outside things affect me. So I really focused on my ideal self, right? I started to think about how I'm in the gym all the time, how I'm working out all the time, how good I feel, how much energy. I started to feel that, and that motivated and inspired me to get into the gym. So now I'm in the gym and I'm working out, I'm cutting down my portions, I'm adding little things. It was little steps, right? Because those are the things that last. Like, sometimes people ask me, you know, how did you keep the weight off? It's like, it's a given for me now. It's like, this is how I feel. I feel good like this. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to feeling that way. So I started going to the gym, started doing all of that. And then I started thinking like, wow, it would be nice one day to meet a guy who's like healthy and we're healthy together and we work out together and like he can teach me things. Like, I don't know how to cook really. I'm still learning this healthy thing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, which there's nothing to do. Like, just eat clean, like just stop with the processed food and the sugar and all that stuff, right? And work on your emotional eating and do all those things. And I said, you know, I wish I would meet, you know, somebody like that. And so I realized at that point, again, wow, if I meet somebody like that who is, you know, fit and healthy and all these things, like, I've got to be like that. Like, he's not going to really be into me if I'm not into that. And I want that. I want that kind of relationship with someone where we're both getting healthy together. And so I started thinking about that and just imagining that and how great it is to have that. Having my tea. Cheers. What kind of tea, Sylvia? And then my now husband happened, and I won't go into that whole story, but he showed up, and he was a complete health freak, health nut crazy. And I was like, universe, wow, you really delivered, because he came in and just transformed my kitchen, my refrigerator. I mean, green juices every day, smoothies every day, like just educating me on so many things and being such an inspiration to me. And now he regrets it. No, but really, I was just like dumbfounded by how much knowledge he knew and everything. So he started opening me up to documentaries, and I watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and that's all I needed. That's literally all I needed. Some people need to watch 10 documentaries and read 7 books and, you know, all that before they decide to change. Not me. I saw it. It just made sense. It made sense. It made sense that I could heal my body with food. It made sense that I could feel better and have more energy and be ageless and just be healthy and be good. And just because I'm getting older, not disintegrate and deteriorate. Like, I could take care of my body. And so I dived in, I started doing more research, and then it just kept trickling from there. Exercise was making me feel so good and having so much more energy, and it was giving me confidence, and it was giving me, I was seeing change. And that's what needs to start happening when you're at this point where you're stuck. That's what you're craving the most when you're stuck, is movement. You're craving momentum. You're craving an increase in your vibration. So if you are in that point where you're feeling stuck like that, you've got to start prospecting about what are the great things that are going to change. What are the great things that you're going to feel at that point? And once you start to feel that, you start to get motivated to behaviors. And then those behaviors turn into more behaviors because you learn more and more and more. And over the last 5 years, that's what I've done. And I just continue to learn, and I continue to read, and I continue to educate myself as much as possible on what interests me and what makes me feel good, so that when I talk to you guys and we have a conversation, or you know, you follow my post, or we're messaging, or you're my client, or whatever it is, you know, I can understand how you're feeling. And I just want that. I want everybody to understand that it's a process. It's totally a process. Having my tea. Cheers. Oh, I read that. You didn't tell me what tea you're drinking. I've got sage here. So what are you guys thinking? How are you feeling about this whole thing? I know it's a lot. It's a lot when you think about like telling your story and telling, you know, explaining sort of, you know, to, especially a message, like when you guys message me and it's like, how did you get there? What did you do? It's like, how do you explain all that? Like, it's simple, it's easy. It's like, yeah, I cut my portions, worked out, but there has to be a vibrational shift. There has to be a mental shift. There has to be something that pulls you to that vision of who you want to be and how you want to feel and how you want to think and deal with why you're emotionally eating. Deal with why you're grabbing for food, why you're not exercising, why you're not motivated. Going within and understanding that most of that is coming from just stupid, dumb thoughts that you're telling yourself every day, that you're not worthy, that you're not enough, that you're not pretty enough, that you're not skinny enough, that you can never do that, that you can't because of this and you can't because of that. Like, no, it's got to stop. The negative self-talk has got to stop. Who do you want to be? When I made those shifts and my life really was changing so much, it was scary, and I was, things were shifting, and I was getting healthier and all of that. And because I was healthier, I was having better thoughts. Like when you're feeding yourself well and you're exercising and you're meditating and you're taking really self-care, you can move forward. Like, I feel like that's where you have to start. You have to start with what you're putting in your body. You have to start with what you're putting in your mind every single day, because those are the things that are going to make you, because for me, it's not about weight loss. When I talk to people, of course, that's the goal for most people that I talk to, but really the goal is like being the best version, right? The weight is going to come off. You're going to be looking good in a bathing suit is just like the icing on the cake to everything else that you feel. When you see before and after pictures and you see that change, like, you've really got to understand the mental shifts that have happened, the working on self, the digging deep, shame and regret and guilt and all the things that had to be worked through. And that, again, only comes from taking responsibility. What are we on here? Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Do you want to know anything about me? Because I get some funny messages sometimes, which are good. No, they're good. It's just very sometimes weird and interesting, but you guys can always feel free. So that's it. So, I think understanding, taking responsibility is number one. That's the first thing that I did. I realized I got to where I got to because of choices that I was making. Second was understanding that I needed to change how I was seeing myself and have a vision and have something that I was really going towards. And then it was understanding why I was emotionally eating, why I was doing those things. And I'm going to do some videos up for that for you guys on emotional eating and all that fun stuff. Good. What law of attraction guru has influenced me the most? Ooh, good question, Sean. So I started with Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks was the groundwork, at least a year just on that. Then I shifted a little bit to Bashar, which was great. And then I got more into like the neurosciences of everything. Obviously Dr. Wayne Dyer, and then Louise Hay, a little bit of Louise Hay. And then I think after that, it just opened up like John Assaraf and then Jim Rohn and Les Brown. And then it started getting like more motivational, more business, Darren Hardy, as I started like my business up and things. And that's shifted, like that's completely changed. Like that's the thing, guys, like I got healthy. Like my vision was to help people. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have an answer. That's something I just knew. Like I'm here to help people. I don't know how to help people do what, but I knew that was inside of me. And just because I kept working on myself, that's what led me to coaching. That's what led me to doing what I was doing and am doing and growing and doing even more and putting together programs for you guys. And I've been kind of in a cocoon because I'm working on so many things to bring to you. And John Assaraf, I can spell it for you here. Where is he? There we are. Okay, so John and then ASSAFR. John Assaraf. So I Got the Answer is one of his books, and Having It All is also another one of his books. So he's great because he kind of goes deeper than Abraham Hicks. Like Abraham Hicks, I feel like don't get me wrong, I go back to it when I'm kind of like need a little refresher, like just simple, easy. John Assaraf goes into more of like the neuroscience and explaining how the law of attraction works. Like we know how it works, we know it's emotion, we know all of that, but what's happening in the brain, which is what leads me to this one that I've been reading with you guys. I've been posting some of the excerpts. I've been telling everybody about this book. Those in the law of attraction area know about it. But I'm going to do a video just on this eventually, but this book has really cleared up so much of what lacks, I think, sometimes with Abraham. Like, I love Abraham, but I feel like there's more to it. Like, I feel like if we can understand how to undo it, how to just feel better, and how to get into those feelings, and understanding how those emotions are affecting how we're thinking, and those things are how affecting how we're feeling, and it's just rewiring our neural networks in our brain, which is amazing. Thought science and all of this neuroplasticity. I tell you, if I could go back, I would probably have went back for like some sort of neuroscience degree or something. I don't know. I'm looking for a new book to read. Which one do you recommend? I would say this. I would say Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I would say How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. If you haven't done that, if you're more into like how it's doing, he's not so much like law of attraction, because law of attraction is just a label that's sort of been put on what we do every single day. We just don't know that we're doing it. So now that we have the power and we know it gets a little bit easier to do. And thanks for the support, Sean. Good question. But yeah, I still go back to Abraham. I definitely still go back to Abraham. In fact, just about a month ago I did, and just revamped me. So, all right. So I hope that if you've been here this far, if you're watching the replay or the live, I hope that I've at least given you something that kind of starts juggling the wheels a little bit in your head. There's so many topics within one, which is why I'm really trying to put something together great for you guys. And that's a question for you guys. Like, what do you feel like is your biggest struggle and your biggest pain right now? What do you feel like is your hardest thing to get through? Because again, like I said, I think health is number one. I think how you're feeding your body, how you're treating your body, how you're thinking and exercising, raising your vibration, that sort of tends to lead you into other things and doors that open up for you, because you feel spiritually aligned. You're eating from the earth, so you're getting that photosynthesis, you're getting that sun, you're getting that energy, and it shifts. When I gave up meat, and I barely eat cheese. If I eat cheese, it's like once a month, if that, and everything else just feels so much better when I am eating well and taking care of myself. So I'm going to do a special video on that, but that's definitely number one for everything. Did that? Okay, I saw that one. All right, so I'm going to let you guys go. Like I said, if you're with me this far, what are your pains? If you got to message me, then message me, but I want to know what you guys are feeling. All right, because I'm working on a lot of good stuff for you guys. So I will let you go. We did, not bad. Did a half hour. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.